Hello there. Today we'll add another entry to our Dungeons at a Glance series in which we look at dungeons and puzzles from across the Zelda franchise. This time we're going to be looking at Misery Mire, another Link to the Past dungeon. The Ice Palace was breaking new ground with its usage of the game's 3D aspects to create puzzles. Misery Mire's design, in contrast, is not breaking that much new ground. It is merely revisiting the style of dungeon design which made the original game famous. In the original Zelda, the earlier dungeons have more keys than you need, and the later dungeons have fewer keys than you need. The game rewards players who use their map and avoid unlocking unnecessary doors, and it severely punishes those who do not. You actually have to go and buy extra keys in the first Zelda if you misuse your keys. That's quite a punishment. While there are an equal number of keys and doors in Misery Mire, managing your keys will nonetheless make your time in this dungeon significantly easier. There are essentially extra keys, as some doors are flat out unnecessary. Avoiding these doors will ensure you have enough keys to make it all the way to the boss, Vitreous. But let us return to the beginning of the dungeon for a moment. Our first obstacle is a ledge. Perhaps this ledge exists to make sure we have the hook shot. Or maybe, just maybe, they intentionally made it short enough so that you can jump across it with the Pegasus shoes. We'll never know for sure, but once we're past the ledge, we descend into the depths of this dungeon and it truly begins. We encounter Wizrobes in the next room, some of Zelda's most iconic enemies. While A Link to the Past's Wizrobes aren't quite as deadly as those in the original game, these particular Wizrobes are paired with a Beamos statue. Anywhere there is a Beamos in A Link to the Past, there is danger. Challenging as Wizrobes may be, the real challenge of this dungeon is in finding your path. True to the original game spirits, there are many ways to go wrong. In fact, the first open door you see is something of a red herring. It leads toward the big key chest, but we don't have a big key. The correct way to proceed is through the northeast door of the main room. On this path, we find a number of keys all at once. It's like a mini version of the original Zelda is playing out. As long as we hold on to these keys and don't use them carelessly, we'll make it straight to the final boss with little effort. After getting these 3 or more keys, you'll want to head back to the main room of Misery Mire and go into the locked door in the southwest section. Nothing can stop us now, except for maybe floating Stalfos heads, Wizrobes, and Vitreous. I guess all those things could conceivably stop us. But anyway, there's another locked door in the room with the floating Stalfos. Unlock that, and then go to the south. This leads to the stairway and a torch puzzle. In this recording, I use the fire rod to light the torches. It's a fun thing to do, but the lamp, of course, works for this puzzle too. But once the torches are lit, you fall down a hole and get a big key. Victory is ours. Once we obtain the Cane of Samaria from the big key chest, we continue our march toward the end of the dungeon. Since we did not waste keys, it remains a straightforward path with only mildly annoying crystal switch puzzles in our way. Vitreous himself isn't that much of a threat if you have the level 3 sword. Now, there is a glitch run on this channel in which I battled him with a level 1 sword. He was almost unstoppable in that video, but with proper equipment and strategy, there's really nothing to him. And that's it. This is how you clear Misery Mire. I thought this dungeon was really hard and frustrating as a kid, but as an adult, I don't think that many other dungeons in this game exude A Link to the Pastness like Misery Mire does.